Well, hey everyone, today is Sunday and we are back again. The last time we were here was Wednesday, the day of the hurricane, which we did very well with. You know, we didn't get much here. So it has not been a very productive week for me for a few reasons. And we'll go into that. But I found the absolute cutest pattern. Toby, what are you doing? Oh, oh. He just ran off with half an avocado. Oh boy. But yeah, I found the absolute cutest pattern. It is like brand new. It was just released this week. I happened to be looking through Instagram and I thought, oh, that is so cute. Now, if you live on the water or near the water or anything, you're going to love this pattern. This thing is great. It's not a water animal, but this thing is great. And you can see Toby back there in the bottom corner. He's got half an avocado in his mouth. He is a menace. He keeps running off with everything. He keeps pulling all my yarn off the shelves. He wants to climb in there and lay down. He is an orange cat. So, one of the first things that I did this week, because I just wanted to do something easy, so I did a snake. And I made his head kind of big. I mean, it's really not that big, but it's kind of big. So I had to go kind of long with it. And I used a Bernat baby, this variegated, to... Jenna's boyfriend Julian said it kind of looks like an albino rattlesnake. But I just kept going and made him fairly long. But this, once you get past the head, it's like you just keep going. You don't even have to count. You just keep going. And so it was easy to do. And allowed me to feel like I was being productive. So I showed you the penguin pattern that I bought last week. And I wanted to see how small it would come out to using acrylic yarn. So I did it in acrylic, just Premier Basics, and with a 4mm hook. And it is teeny tiny. I've got everything such a mess in here. I can't locate it to show you the size difference. I'm starting to put these things in totes. You like going through them and being like, oh, this one's a misfit toy and this one's good, you know, just to see where I'm at. Like, how much stuff do I have? I kind of feel like the more that I take with me, the better chance I'm going to have at selling items. But at the same time, I don't want to look cluttered and overcrowded, if that makes any sense. So I should have plenty of stuff with me to, as I sell things, put more up on the table so it doesn't look picked over. That's the goal. Whether or not it happens, that's another story. And you have to forgive me. I am feeling not well. John came back from Colorado with some Colorado crud, and I caught it, and I feel like... So, we have the snake, and we have the little mini penguin, which I'm going to add a keychain. Make it into a keychain. So, let me tell you what's been going on this week. And then we'll get to that really cool pattern. Don't worry, we will get to it. But this is what happened. You know, my air stopped working again. So, Thursday, the AC guy showed up and, you know, he was feeling really bad. They got here first thing in the morning. And he's like, what did I do wrong? You know, well, it wasn't anything he did. It was a whole new problem. And thank God we are still a year left on the warranty for parts. So the control panel, part of it went out. And he was able to bypass that so that we'd have some air while we're waiting for the part to come in. So I am super grateful for that. Although I still, because I'm not feeling well, I feel like it's 100 degrees in here. And I know it's not, because like I got goosebumps on my legs right now, but the upper part of me is just like cold sweats, if that makes any sense. I'm not doing too well. So that was Thursday. Oh my goodness. Friday I had to go to the doctor's office for blood work. And do you know how you can go and one time the person that's doing the blood draw, you don't even feel that needle go in. And other times you feel like you just entered into a torture chamber? This was the torture chamber time. The lady put tears in my eyes, and I have a pretty high pain tolerance. But I don't like needles, so that automatically triggers me as a needle. But usually I can handle a blood draw better than I can getting an injection. So I do that, and then as the day went on Friday, I started feeling bad. So Saturday I get up, and well, Friday John got a call from his sister that lives down in St. Pete, and believe it or not, she had a leak in her air conditioner. Well, it got underneath her floor, so she started pulling up the laminate flooring to, like dry the water out so she doesn't end up with a mold issue or anything. And she called him for help. So he had plans to go down there Saturday. So this was yesterday. Yeah, normally I live a very drama-free life, but this summer has not worked out that way. So he leaves Saturday morning, and Jenna's gone to work, so it's just me and the animals in the house. And I'm going out getting to make myself some breakfast. And I have to give the older cat some anxiety medication because Toby has stressed the poor cat out. And he's a geriatric cat. He can't handle that. I can't handle it. So I'm mixing his medication in with his little food so to get him to take the medicine. And all of a sudden you hear boom, and the whole house, Toby, and the whole house starts to shake. The power goes out and the cats are going nuts. And I'm like, oh my God, I just kind of froze. I thought, the first thought that entered my mind was, we're getting sucked into a sinkhole, because I mean, the whole freaking house shook, scared the bejeebies out of me. So once I kind of was able to pull myself together and like survey the room and look around, and the cats are still going nuts, the dog's just laying there like nothing ever happened, but I look out the kitchen window, and here's this ginormous branch, bigger than a tree branch. This thing had to be like 40 feet long, fell from one of the live oaks and took out our power line. Like, almost gave me heart failure. So I go out the other side of the house so that I can get cell reception. And the first thing I did was call John. I'm like, I know you just left, but this is what just happened. So he turned around and he came home. Now we can't go anywhere near it to survey it because we have live power lines on the ground. So I'm trying to get a hold of our power company. And as soon as I get to the part where there's a live person, all I get is, hello, 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 hello. Like, they can't hear me. And I'm getting frustrated because I'm on like my 4th or 5th phone call now. And the same thing kept happening. Like, I'm being sent to the exact same person each time. So John tried from his phone and he was able to get through. So they send a truck out. And the guy, the lineman, I guess you would call him, he goes up and he disconnects those lines from the transformer, which is like in the next door neighbor's yard. He disconnects it from that. So the lines that are on the ground are not live anymore, but he said it would be a faster repair if he doesn't remove the lines, and they can just like pick them up and put them back up and hook them up. However, he says, you need to get an electrician out here, and they have to inspect it and certify it that it's okay for us to hook your power lines back up. And I'm sitting there going, are you serious? Are you serious? Really? I cannot do this. I'm just like not feeling good. And now you're telling me not only do I not have air, but I have absolutely no electricity at all. Well, on the top of the house where the power lines connect, they have what they call breakaways, kind of like with the gas pump. You know, if you put the nozzle in your car and you drive off with it, it breaks away so you don't jerk out the pump and cause a big fire or anything. So they have these breakaway lines. Well, they didn't break away immediately. They pulled the pipe, tilted it, and busted the weather cap. Now, can you imagine how much an electrician costs on the weekend? And a holiday weekend at that? Oh, good Lord. And I was lucky I was able to find one, especially being out here in a rural area. But I was able to find one. And they showed up about 2:30 in the afternoon. Now, mind you, when this happened, when that ginormous branch fell, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. So 2:30, the electrician shows up. He's here for 5 minutes. And here's your $450 bill. Hello, Toby. Ow! Ooh, 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 ooh. Ouch. Come here, buddy. There's easier ways to come up and say hello than that. All right. If you're going to bite, I'm not going to pick you up. Where was I? So, yeah, he was here for like 5 minutes. Now, he didn't straighten this tweaked pole out, but he verified that there weren't any wires touching anything, that all the connections and everything inside it were okay, and he had to replace the weather cap. So then we call Seco back so they can come out and go plug. And of course, when the first guy was here, he disconnected the meter. So they have to reconnect the meter. Like, you know, they don't trust people to like behave themselves and not do something they're not supposed to do. So it had to be about 4:30-ish or so when the second guy shows up. And he's just sitting there looking. Now, John and the neighbor had cut away a good part of this ginormous branch that fell. But most of what they cut was what was over into the neighbor's drive that leads to the house behind us, so that they can get in and out of their house. You know, God forbid there was an emergency and they can't leave to get help, or emergency vehicles can't get in because here's this ginormous tree branch blocking their drive. And it's got, of course, fences going down both sides. Well, it used to have fences going down both sides. The one side is completely crushed. We had what you call a field fence up, you know, keep flash in the yard. And they had put up on the other side of that a, you know, decorative type ranch style wooden, you know, slat boards going across. Well, this tree took that out. So now we got to replace that too. So the guy's looking at this thing, and the side where John didn't get to cut yet has some of the branches coming off of this very large branch sticking straight up in the air, and it almost reaches the top of the power pole. So John had to go over and cut some of that away so the guy had free clearance to work between the pole and the house. Long story short, about 6:30, we finally got the power back on. But I felt awful all day. I'm still not feeling good today. Like, I go out to the car, turn the car on, and just sit in the car, try to bring my body temperature down. I was so hot, and it was just so humid. It had to be like 2,000% humidity. It was just unbelievably hot. So I'd go out and sit in the car 15, 20 minutes with it running. And I just kept thinking to myself, it's a good thing I filled up. You know, because I used my cell phone, which doesn't get a good signal unless you're standing in the right spot. You know, it'd be like that old Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That's how it is for cell service for us here. But because I used that phone to call the electrician, because we have a landline because we have poor reception here, but that doesn't work because the phone has to plug in. So when your power goes out here, you have no electricity, no water, no phone, no internet. You are completely cut off from the world. I'm ready to move back to the city. I told John that yesterday. I am ready to go back. We've been here 10 years. You know, it's quiet. It's less expensive to live here. But I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Toby, what are you doing, man? Anyhow, so I had to, because I was using my cell phone to get a hold of the electrician, and they needed to be able to call me back because their on-call person was already on another call. And I could sneeze. So their on-call person was already on another call, so they needed to be able to reach me. And I'm like at 17% or so battery, and my car charger isn't working. So I had to run up to the store and get another car charger. And this was funny, but it wasn't funny because I stood in line. I couldn't use self-checkout because I thought that they had the electronic stuff behind their sales counter area. So when I finally get up there to ask for it, the guy's like, oh, it's over there hanging. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I had to go over and pick through this big mess. And of course, it was the most expensive one that had the right size to be able to plug in so I can have a car charger to charge my phone. And don't you know, while I was inside that store, the electrician called. So I had to try and get a hold of him. But anyways, it kind of worked out in the end. We have our power back. Yeah, so we have temporarily working air, and I've got this ginormous mess in here to clean up. Okay, so back to the little plushies. So I showed you my snake, and I showed you my little mini penguin, and I did another one of those frogs that I was having problems with the eyes. Well, Caroline from Caroline for the Love of Crochet, she sent me a link on Etsy that had some 1/2-inch felt eyes. So I ordered some, made another frog, and glued the little felt eyes on. So it's cute. I'm still not sure. So I guess I'm just used to the safety eyes. So when I do things that are a little bit different, it takes a little while for it to grow on me. But this frog is so easy to do. And to not have to deal with the safety eyes, I mean, you're not sewing any parts on. Just sit there and glue those on. If I could get them straight. But, you know, it's not always you. Because you're working in a spiral, it's never completely even. Just remember that. It's not always you. So, yeah. So we'd had that. Now for the new stuff. This is almost what you guys have been waiting for. So I found, it found me on Instagram. It was a caterpillar pattern. And they did theirs, I think it was purple and white. And I tried these same eyes on it. I tried giving it little eyelashes, but it just kind of sunk into the blanket yarn. But this was easy. It was no sew, and you used the bobble stitch for the little legs. Now I did have to adjust a little bit on the placement of the bobble on a couple of them because it was kind of off. And Toby, don't you do that. And on this one, definitely, like, my feet were way over, so I had to pull it out and redo the little feet on that. Toby, what are you doing, man? Toby, leave it alone. Come up here and say hi. He's attacking some stitch markers. But yeah, so we have the little caterpillar. And this was another one that was like, you do 2 rows, you change the color, do 2 rows, you change the color. So it's pretty mindless type crocheting, but it's cute. I mean, doing the right colors. Dude, say hi. Say bye. Say bye-bye. Oh my goodness. I actually think I'm running a little fever. So the caterpillar was new so far. Now my only other new thing, and this is what we've been waiting for. Excuse me. Now my only other thing that I made, and I did 2 of them, and this is what you've been waiting for. This is absolutely the cutest pattern. And it's so easy, and it's this, what would you call it? This person's very first pattern they've ever written, and they put it on Etsy. And it is just so stinking cute. Are you ready? Check this out. This is what we used to lovingly call turd birds, but it is a seagull, because wherever the flock of seagulls were, you had birdie poo-poo all over everything. But look at how stinking cute this is. So just think of, what was that movie? Finding Nemo. Mine. The seagull. So this one is done in Parfait Chunky, and it's not no-sew, but it's easy sewing. You sew on the little beak, and you sew the wings right along the bottom, and then a little bit back in here just to make sure they're secure. Now I might be a little bit high on how mine come back out, but this was my first one. And I just think it's so stinking cute. I mean, and it's new. It's not something that everybody has yet, but they will, because it is so darn cute. So, and you know me, let's see how it's going to look if we do it in acrylic yarn. Because, you know, it is written for the plush yarn. And I am learning the hard way that it definitely, sometimes, depending on the stitches and stuff, it can definitely make a difference. On where some of the stitches land. So, but here he is. So darn cute in acrylic yarn. And I think I did a little better with the wings. Like, they're not sticking straight out in the back. I got more of that angle on this one. And it is just so stinking cute. So I am going to, of course, add the little thing and make this a bag charm or a keychain. I think it's a little big for a keychain. I don't know. Do people enjoy having ginormous keychains? I don't. I want to be able to stick it in my pocket. So yeah, like a bag charm. But yeah, this is the size difference. And this was using Premier Basics and a 4mm hook. So if you could get it even smaller using a DK weight and a smaller hook, if you wanted to go smaller. I didn't try it in the Bernat. I wanted to, but not feeling well, I didn't get to it. I didn't do anything yesterday but suffer. I was so miserable. I just wanted to lay down, and I couldn't. I was so happy when the power came back on, just to get in the shower and rinse all that sweat off my body. I don't even think I had dinner last night. I just kind of went to bed. Yes, it hasn't been a good week. But yeah, look at these little darlings. Aren't they just the sweetest? Okay. I have whined and complained enough and occupied enough of your time today. And I'm hoping to have a more productive week this week. We'll see. He has that half avocado again. That's not going to be usable now. Thanks, Toby. That's what I get, I guess. Anyhow, that is what I have to share. While I just stay here and wallow in my misery, you guys can head on over here and check out the next video. And I hope you have a better day, a better week, a better month than what I've been having. Toby.